Hi guys, welcome back to a new episode of Young and Unscripted. We have our guest back again, my sister. We have Patty's back in the podcast today. Today we were thinking about talking about manifestation a bit, going a bit deep into how to manifest things into your life, and about our experience, what Patty says experience manifesting in her life, because she started like years back.
Yeah.
Like one of the first
Young age.
No, just kidding. But she started a while ago. I kind of learned it from her. Like, she gave me a book, The Secret. Probably a lot of you guys know it. Like, I heard like a lot of people started with that book.
Yeah.
Secret. That's how it got so popular. Like the law of
Attraction.
yeah, the law of attraction.
Yeah, it was one of the first books that
Yeah.
was like popular.
And that kind of popped out. But
Yeah.
we kind of started talking about our experience and hopefully inspire you guys. Manifest everything you want. All right. I have some Coke today. No way. So yeah, should we just start? Should we just get right into it?
It's cool.
Well, tell us a bit. How did you even start with manifestation? Like, what was your start point? Like, was it a book, The Secret, or how did you like?
Yeah, I think I first started to hear about it through YouTube videos. Actually, it was in a phase of my life where I was just starting to have my spiritual awakening. I think it was like at 14.
Damn.
15.
Okay.
And I was in a really abusive dynamic with one specific person, and when I got out of it, I was like really destroyed. Actually, I was mentally really at a bad place, and that's when I started to like watch a lot of YouTube videos and started to read a lot. I deleted my social media for 2 years.
I remember
you know
that.
And I stopped eating meat, and I started doing yoga every day. Like, it was the beginning. I mean, I was still at a mentally bad point, but it was like the beginning of everything. And that was when I also read about the law of attraction, which was pretty new to me. Like, it was a concept that I never really heard of, because it was like in 2015 maybe.
Yeah.
Like, nobody talked about it, and expect of like some hippies on YouTube. And so yeah, I started to read the law of attraction. And I also read a lot of other books, but like the law of attraction was the main book on manifesting. And I didn't really understand it at that time. It was, I think,
we were
do you
14.
remember the book? Like, I never read it again. Like, it was the only time I read it, but they talked about like Abraham or so, like there was like one specific I don't know if it was an energy or like something they talked to.
Who was answering the questions.
Yeah, that confused me so much.
The beginning of that book is kind of confusing, honestly. I think they have a movie too. Do they?
Yeah.
There's a movie, but I never watched the movie.
But then I like didn't thought about it like for 1 or 2 years. And after that I started to like get into it again when I got a bit older, like at 18, 19. And I started to understand what it was saying, like the meaning of the law of attraction, that you have to feel the way you want to be. Like, you have to be what you want to have in your life. And should I talk about my first time, like,
yes, so tell us.
Experiencing?
Tell us your first
I think
time.
It was first time that I like really like consistently worked on manifesting something was in uni, like when I was doing my bachelor's. And I had an exam which was chemistry, right? And I like in school I was so bad at chemistry, but I'm studying nutrition science, so I needed to like take this chemistry exam, and I was so scared of it, like so scared. But like imagining myself. I didn't even thought about the law of attraction. It was just something that came to me naturally, actually. I think it was like in my head the whole time. I still like I had the information of the book in my head, but I didn't like actively worked with it in my life until that point where I started imagining myself how it would feel to sit at that exam.
So you just randomly thought like, let's
Yeah,
feel it, like
I was motivated to like get through it.
Yeah.
I was like, I either like get like the worst grade and feel bad about myself, or I imagine myself feeling like so good writing this exam and knowing all the answers and like being proud of myself and having fun with it. So
chemistry's fun.
started to write in my notebook,
Okay.
I am going to pass this exam. I am going to pass this chemistry exam. I'm enjoying studying for this exam. We could like look for my notebook. I wrote this like every day.
Oh my god.
That I'm enjoying studying for this exam. I wasn't enjoying it at all. But I just wrote it like, I also wrote some other stuff, but this exam thing was like the most important thing at that time. So I started to read a whole chemistry book. Like it was like that thick, like it was full of like all the basic chemistry information.
And you didn't like chemistry at that time?
No, I didn't.
You didn't even like it?
No, before that I didn't. But I started to read this book like every chapter. Chapter for chapter I did like notes with my hand, and it was a lot. And I think at the beginning it was like really hard, but I started to enjoy it like for real. Like it got fun because I was like the whole time imagining myself passing this exam. And then the exam came and I had so fun.
That's
right?
crazy.
Yeah, I was like in the flow, like for real. I was just like answering every question and I knew every answer. I had an A, like I knew everything.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and it's like I also had this meditation on my phone. It was like 5 minutes where you were like closing your eyes and imagining yourself sitting in the classroom and being calm and knowing that you know every answer. That's also a part of like visualization.
Was visualization. Visualization.
Yeah.
Visualization.
Visualization.
Yeah.
That was also part. So yeah, that was like the beginning.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is so crazy that you even enjoyed doing the exam.
And I mean, it was a one-time thing actually, because I wasn't aware of what I was doing. Like I just did it, but I didn't thought about the fact that I could do this with other things in my life too.
With
because
everything,
writing an exam was actually, it wasn't part of my limiting beliefs. I think if I would adopt this to other parts of my life, I have a lot of insecurities and limiting beliefs that would stop me from really seeing myself having it.
But yeah, no, honestly, when you think about it, like you can literally do that with every aspect of your life.
Yeah,
that is so crazy. But what crazy is like that you did it and nothing, like you didn't even, it was like you read the book like 2 years before.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere that you were just writing these notes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you not even see like a Instagram video or did it just,
maybe I watched some YouTube videos, but
oh, okay, yeah, right, you were watching it.
Yeah, but it wasn't until this point where I started to understand what the book was saying. Like in these whole 2 years I was like still mentally at a bad point. But I think after that I still wasn't manifesting actively. Like I wasn't aware of it. But during that time a lot of things that I was wishing for happened for me. Like the next few years. Even though I wasn't like aware of it.
Yeah.
Like I started to implement this into my life. But it wasn't like that's the thing. It wasn't like really life-changing things. It was like things like, you know, like with boys. You know?
Yeah.
I was fantasizing a
Yeah.
lot, like about
Okay.
about a few things.
Yeah.
But
No, because you didn't really think about how much you can use it. You know, like
Yeah, I
how
wasn't-
far you can go
and
actually.
that's where like the limiting beliefs are
Mhm.
important.
Yeah.
You have to know that you are capable of getting everything you are
Yeah.
fantasizing about.
Yeah.
But you just have to feel as if it's already happened, and then like not let anything stop
Yeah.
you. Like a lot of doubts can come. Like you shouldn't let the doubt stop you from working towards it.
Mhm.
You should
But,
enjoy
yeah.
working
Yeah.
towards it.
Exactly. I mean, at the beginning, I like how you said it. You were writing down in your
Yeah.
notebook these things, but you were like, how you laughed about it right now, like
Yeah.
because thinking about it, writing something that is like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
you know, you write it down and be like,
I'm enjoying studying for chemistry.
but like the more you do it, it's like you convincing yourself that this is true.
Yeah, I started like really enjoying it because
Yeah.
I was imagining myself with the outcome I was
Yeah.
desiring.
Yeah.
So that's what you can do for everything, because it's not easy working towards something. It's just that imagining yourself having it already
Mm-hmm.
gives you this motivation to like continue, because you know at one point in the future you are at the place where you got it, like where you like
Yeah. You have to see it. You have to know that
yeah,
at this point is
it's
obviously
going to
gonna happen.
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
shows how much like the mind controls your reality. It just shows
Definitely.
how your thoughts and how you think and feel just can change everything.
yeah,
Literally everything. Like you just have to convince yourself about something.
yeah.
And people, like, you can use it for good or you can use it for bad and convince yourself
Yeah.
that you're a shit or something.
Definitely.
Like, you can convince yourself for everything, and that is what's going to happen. What you deep down really think. It won't happen as long as you're not really convinced. You honestly
Yeah.
have to be so convinced that this is true, and this is what's gonna happen, and this is where I'm gonna be, and then
Yeah.
it will
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. But I mean, it's a process. Like you
Yeah.
can't just be like that from one day to the next.
Of course,
Because I started with it like when I was 14, 15,
Yeah.
and I'm still not at that point where I like got rid of all my limiting beliefs. Like I still have a lot of limiting beliefs, but it's just like a process that you're going through.
Yeah, it is a process. Like, you just have to, I feel like you do it for like a time, like you start to like convince yourself, and then you have to let it go, and then you'll see it materializing, like you see it
Yeah.
happening. But you
Yeah,
have to
that's
like
true.
you can't force anything. Like, you have to let it go. You have to believe that if when the right time comes, it will
Yeah.
happen.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, like you can't wait for it the whole time. You can't be like, oh, why is this not happening? I'm waiting for it. Like, you really just let it go and just trust that it will happen in the right time. Like, you can see it from everything. Like, once it is the proof of detachment.
Yeah.
Like, you literally have to detach from that. You can't be attached. Detachment is so key in this. Like, you realize that every time when anything, like when a guy, when you kind of finally like done with the guy and you mentally detaching from him, they come back. They always,
Yeah.
the people that you don't care about come back because you're not attached to them, because you're detached to them. That is literally
Yeah.
proof that detachment is true. Like, yeah, though, it's really all about detachment. Like, you have to detach. This is so key in every part of your life, in everything in your life.
Yeah.
Detachment is always good, because you never can be attached to something. It's never healthy for you. But for me, like, experience of me, I remember, like, we actually started it together when we were writing notes. We were writing notes. I talked about this one time. Like, we were writing
Mhm.
notes in a notebook, and we were kind of, it was a challenge that I saw on Instagram, and it was a challenge, like, write down, you remember?
Yeah.
Like, write down
Like every morning, every midday, and every evening.
Yeah,
right?
like 3 times a day, write down like what you desire, what you want.
Yeah, and you write it in the form of you already have it. Like
Yeah.
I am dot dot
Exactly.
dot,
I am
or
this.
I have dot dot dot.
Yes, I like exactly this. And I remember when we started this, I was in a place of my life where I didn't want to be at all. Like I didn't want to be like I didn't like how my life was going. Like because it wasn't the life that I imagined I would have when I was 10 years old. Like I always thought when I'm 20 I would have, my dream life. And so I just started doing it like really randomly. I thought like, why not? And it was in January 2023. And we started doing that, and I was writing the whole time about like acting stuff, and I had nothing to do with acting yet. Like I didn't do anything, even though I always wanted to do it, right? And then I was doing that, just and then like I was literally doing that 3 times a day. We were really doing that.
Yeah.
It was a point where one day, like I think like a couple of weeks after, we were talking, and then we were like it's so random. Like sometimes these things pop up in our head, like all of a sudden.
It was in my head all of the time.
This
Like these
text.
3 sentences were like in my, and every decision I was making throughout the day, I was unconsciously thinking like, does this decision align with those 3 sentences I was writing every day? Like it was crazy.
It was so crazy how much this affected me and like us. That was really crazy because like imagine you doing this in the morning, right after you wake up you have to do it, and then like throughout the day, like I don't know, just midday, and then before you go to sleep you have to do it.
Yeah.
And then you do it for a couple of weeks, and these sentences pop up in your head and be like, oh, I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
And then you just start to make decisions that are like putting you in that. And then I remember, I think like 6 months, like I was doing that maybe for, I don't know, maybe 2 months, something.
Yeah.
I think we were doing it for like
2
2 months, yeah. And then I didn't do it anymore. But I did feel like something inside of me. But I didn't feel anything physically yet. Nothing really happened yet. And then I think like 6 months after that, I went to my first acting school and started actually going into acting. Like that was I never really did much act. Like I never did it. I always did it like for myself at home, but it was never really something professionally. And then that was when I was still studying something I didn't like, but then I was just like, let's try it out because something was, it was bringing me as if something was pushing me.
You made your subconscious believe
that
you are the things you were saying to yourself.
So obviously you're kind of moving into that direction.
Yeah.
Kind of moving into
and
this
opportunities come to you.
Yeah, and you start to automatically, I don't know, maybe think about it more, do some research more about it. Like everything just kind of it's in your head.
You start to believe that it's possible. There is no limiting belief that is stopping you. Yeah.
And then I had my first acting school. Yeah, and from that on, everything kind of started to change for me, really. And then really everything changed in my life. And then I actually 2024 came, and then I actually lived the life that I wanted to live. Like from 1 year after I started doing this journaling, 1 year after I literally had the life that I was writing in my notebook. I had this life, and that's crazy.
And we also started to read a lot more books.
Yes.
Like The Power of the Subconscious
The Power of
Mind
the Subconscious
was
Mind.
a definitely important
Such
book.
an important book.
Also breaking the habit of being yourself.
Yeah, also what I wanted to give an example, breaking the habit of being yourself. I'm reading it right now. She already read it, but I'm just reading it right now, and I just there was a part where he was saying, it was crazy to me. It was a scenario, there was a study, a case. They took 8 people randomly, yeah? There was, let's say 3 people had to train their finger, I don't know, 20 minutes a day or something. There was 3 people who had to do that. And then there was the other group that was doing nothing. They didn't train their finger. They wasn't doing anything. And then there was the other group that wasn't training their finger physically, but they were training it mentally. They were just imagining training their finger. They were just in their head mentally thinking they would be, but they were doing nothing. And then after 2 weeks or something, or 3 weeks, they tested like their finger strength, and from the first group that really did the physical training, they had like an increase of 30% finger muscle, like they were 30% stronger. The second group that did nothing, obviously 0, they didn't really have anything, and then the third group that was just mentally had 22% increase in finger strength, even though they did nothing. They were just doing it mentally, and that was just so crazy to me. They didn't, like, just like the second group, they, like, you don't do anything. You just mentally, for like 20 minutes a day, they were just thinking about doing it. And then it was like another example that this one guy was training his biceps in his mind. In his mind, he was training his biceps, and just like that, like, just, and doing that, his biceps became stronger.
That's crazy.
That is so crazy.
The way you are thinking, you are becoming.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like for everything. And another thing in the book that he was explaining is that a lot of people from the outside, they usually look like really happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're alone at home at night, they feel this loneliness and emptiness inside of themselves. And there's like a gap between your outside and your inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like where you are not able to like manifest right, to like become the person you want to be.
Yeah.
You have to start to like close the gap and become the outside you are desiring. Like, you have to first go through all the negative emotions that were built up through all those years.
Yeah.
And after you felt through them, you are capable of letting it go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have enough space for a new version of yourself, like the new version you want to become. Because you can just manifest from that point, like from that point of feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
You can't manifest good things out of negative emotions.
Yes, exactly.
You can manifest negative things out of negative emotions. You have to know what your goal is. Like, you have to know what you want to have or be.
Yeah.
And then you write it down. You write down exactly what you want to, what amount of money you want to have, how you want to have get it. You have to know the goal and then take care of the steps.
Yeah. You have to have a clear vision. Yeah, I think my problem, like, I always had the goal. That is the thing. I always had it. But my problem really was I was so focused on getting to know how it's gonna happen. I really, since I wanted to do that, I had no idea how. I really didn't know how. I was thinking about it. I was like, how am I supposed to do it? Like, how? And then, and then I was starting to blame my parents for it.
It's all their fault.
You know, and you know, I was thinking about this how the whole time, and I think what like finally got me to the point where I have it was just letting go of how and just believing the vision is gonna happen. Just believing that it will happen, and then I just was like, fuck the how, you know.
And then you started to see the opportunities.
Yeah, I had to basically detach myself from knowing all the answers the whole time.
Yeah.
You know what actually was bringing me back, waking me up, like a wake up, you know, was actually, like, I was studying computer science, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I posted something that I was studying, like a random study post. And I remember one of the guys in my class in school, like back in high school.
Yeah.
I remember, like, really randomly, he just, like, replied to my story and he said, "What are you doing? I thought you wanted to become an actor." And when I read this, I was like, what am I doing?
What?
Like, that was such a wake up call. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I was like, what am I doing? You're right. I don't know. I feel like I was starting to get it out of my reality, and I started to think, okay, maybe it will always just stay a dream. But then when he said this, a part of me, I don't know, I was just like, he's right. Like, what am I doing?
I mean, throughout the years, I did manifest a lot of things in my life, but I think something that is like lacking in my life is like having this one specific big goal that I know I like without having those limiting beliefs, because I always catch myself having a vision of myself, like the best version of myself, and like thinking about it like for a few days, and I feel like really good, and I believe that I can like be this person, and then all those limiting beliefs come back and the self-sabotaging. And I see that a lot when I got the one thing that I always wanted.
Yeah.
When I start to feel happy, I get this, I can't explain it, but I get nervous about it, about losing it.
Okay.
And that's when I start self-sabotaging, and I am like, okay, I'd rather lose it now where I'm in control of it than like, I don't know, having to stress about keeping it. And this can be like with everything, like with everything in my life. And that's the definition of self-sabotaging. Like, you believe that you don't deserve good things, or you don't deserve everything you wished for. And that's so important to get rid of, actually, because that's what's stopping you from getting what you are actually deserving, because you deserve everything.
From the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, also there was another like example with Wealth and Poor, and it was basically just like you have to, in order to like, your body and mind have to be connected, right? Your body and mind, they always have to be connected in order for something to manifest and materialize. So what your mind is thinking, your body has to feel as well.
Yeah.
So your mind and body have to be connected in order for something to happen.
You have to connect it with emotions.
Yeah. So in order to like, if you want to manifest wealth, and you're thinking about wealth, you really and truly, your body has to feel wealthy.
Yeah, you have to feel the joy of being healthier.
Yeah, you can't feel poor.
You have to imagine yourself how you would feel if you would be healthy right now.
Yeah.
And that's the way you have to go through your life.
Yeah. Like it's all like your body and mind have to be connected. That is the key.
Yeah.
Like for every, like in order to like actually start to things to materialize, it has to be connected. It's crazy to think about how much of an effect your mind has to your reality. It's crazy to think about it. And once you get into it, and once you read more books about it, get more knowledge about it, your life can change in such a positive way when you just start to be aware of your thoughts.
Yeah, because at the end, you, like, the best thing that can happen is that you're just happy. Like, you're happy with yourself. Like, you're just happy. It's not like that your happiness is dependent on like all the outcomes. No, because you don't even have the outcomes yet. It's that you're already happy with the point you are at, as if you already had them. Yeah. So like when they are here, there's no difference.
But yeah, like it's crazy how much you can like really do with your mind. And I really hope that you guys would start to think about this more and be aware of your thoughts. Yeah. Because it's a key. It's honestly key.
Yeah, but one last thing I would say is that you can't force yourself to have a positive mindset. You have to first let go of all the negativity in yourself. Yeah. Like, you have to first go through a process of like letting go of all the negative beliefs you have about yourself, and then you have the space for all the positivity. Yeah. Without that, it's just going to be a mask you're wearing, and yeah, nothing's going to happen. That's really important.
Yeah. So it's a progress.
Yeah.
You just have to trust, and you have to trust in the right timing.
Yeah.
And always do what feels right, really. But yeah, I really hope we guys could give some inspiration. But yeah, I think that's the end of today's episode.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Today's episode about manifestation. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe and give a like.